Namaste and welcome. It is Rishi here from meditatewithrishi.com, and today's video is a really simple one, and it's on a question I've been getting a lot recently, which is how do you start a meditation practice if you're a beginner, right? So I want to make it very, very simple for you, and I'm going to give you 4 steps on how to start a practice if you're a beginner, okay? So let's get to it. The first one, step number 1 is, or rule number 1 is, begin with short sessions. 10 minutes is ideal if you're starting out, right? So 10 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes in the evening. Because beyond 10 minutes, if you're a beginner, you're going to lose your concentration and you're not going to be doing what is necessary, right? And it also seems really daunting if you have to sit for a long time, right? So it's easier to convince yourself to sit down for 10 minutes in the start. So do it 10 minutes, first thing when you wake up and last thing before you go to bed. After you've done your reading, your nighttime routine, you're scrolling on Instagram, after all that, right? The last thing you do before bed is do your meditation and 10 minutes, okay? That's rule number 1. Rule number 2 is essentially keep the object very simple. You can start with just focusing on your breath. In fact, you can continue with just focusing on your breath, right? But keep the object simple. Don't look for any, fancy techniques. It's just unnecessary, right? So if you have a mantra, that you already like, for example, use the mantra. If not, the breath is perfect. Listen to your breath coming in and going out. Get to know the breath. Feel the stomach rising and falling as you breathe in and breathe out. Just get to know the breath, essentially. Our mind loves the sound of our breath. It loves being in touch with our breath, and it becomes very calm when it connects to the breath. So rule number 2 is use a simple object of focus. The breath is perfect, okay? Rule number 3 is one of the most important rules, especially for a beginner, which is do not expect it to be peaceful. Don't expect that you will not have any thoughts, or you will become thoughtless, or you will have perfect concentration. That is just setting yourself up for failure, okay? Expect that as soon as you sit down, thoughts are going to come rushing in. Expect that you are not going to be able to concentrate, because the reality is that when we actually sit down in silence for the first, few times, we realize how chaotic the mind is, how it's going in a million different directions. So your only job in this meditation is when your mind wanders, okay, try to become aware that it's wandered and bring it back gently, lovingly to the breath. That is all you must do. Do not get angry, do not get agitated, do not, just the fact that you've realized that you're thinking about something else than the breath is progress. It means that you are aware. So be happy and gently, with love, bring the mind back to the breath. Bring the mind back to the breath. This is how you build your concentration. The more you do this consistently every day, the longer you'll be able to sit for, and the better you will become at this practice and actually reach the meditative state, right? So what you're practicing right now is concentration on the breath, okay? So rule number 3 is simply do not expect peace. Just expect that your mind will wander, and your only job is to bring it back with loving attention to the breath, okay? And rule number 4 is commit to the practice. Like with anything in life, especially with meditation, consistency is king. It is going to make the difference between whether you can build your concentration and actually go deeper into this practice and see the benefits or not, right? So starting with small sessions, 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the evening, is very easy to commit to. And make sure that you commit to it no matter what happens. There is no, think about it. There is no excuse that before you sleep, you cannot spend 10 minutes just focusing on your breath. There is simply no reason, right? So commit to that practice and commit to doing it every day. And essentially in the start, don't judge yourself on how well did I concentrate. Just the only thing you need to be judging yourself on is, did I practice today or did I not practice today? That's the only box you need to tick. And trust me when I say this, if you do that, if you commit to this daily practice, if you sit for short sessions of 10 minutes, if you choose a simple object like the breath, just keep everything simple and not worry when your mind wanders. Bring it back to your attention. Bring it back to the breath. You're gonna essentially be able to sit for longer periods, quicker, and essentially reap the benefits of meditation, which I'm not going to go into in this video because I can talk for hours and hours on that, okay? So that is it. Let me just summarize the 4 steps on how to start a practice if you are a beginner. Number 1, stick to short sessions. 10 minutes is ideal in the morning and in the evening. Number 2, have a simple object of focus. The breath is perfect. Number 3 is do not expect peace. Expect your mind to wander. And when it does, bring it back to the breath with loving, gentle, kind attention. And number 4 is commit to the practice. Just 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the evening. Worst case, definitely do the 10 minutes right before you sleep and just commit to that 7 days a week. That is all you need, okay? Now, once you've done that, okay, let's say you want to take your practice further or you want to deepen your practice. I've created an amazing, beautiful course called How to Meditate Like the Ancient Yogis and Transform Your Life. So you can check that out on meditatewithrishi.com, okay? But if you're just starting out, this simple 4 steps that I've mentioned is gonna be perfect to just get you going, and then you can deepen your practice later once you have the appetite for that, okay? So thank you very much for listening, and I hope that was helpful. Namaste.